Well, folks, just when I'm trying to get some sleep, the news, unfortunate news, I should say, does not stop coming as Cody Mauch, the Buccaneers starting right guard, is out for the season with a knee injury. Shout out to Sleeper, by the way. More on them a little bit later on in this video. Okay. Per Greg Allman of Fox Sports, this is like 50 minutes to like an hour ago. I know I'm late on this. It is what it is. Bucs guard Cody Mauch's knee injury is significant enough that he will require surgery that is expected to end his season. Another major loss for the Bucs, now down 3 starting offensive linemen in the short term. Now, of course, Cody Mauch is in the long term. And I just want to say this. My goodness, the injury luck on the Buccaneers offensive line is absolutely abysmal right now. Point blank, simple as that. You're starting left tackle Tristan Wirfs. He's still going to be out for a little bit going forward as he recovers from his own knee procedure. Your starting left tackle is Graham Barton, who's usually your starting center. Your starting left guard right now is Mike Jordan, somebody who is with the Bucs in training camp in preseason and has been a game day elevation from the practice squad to the active roster 2 weeks in a row now. I imagine that third week he will be elevated yet again to play left guard, and at this point may very well be promoted at some point. I'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. At center, you've got Ben Bredeson, who is usually your starting left guard. He has been playing center the past 2 weeks for the Bucs. He's honestly been doing a fine job in my opinion, but is still playing out of position. Now you have Cody Mauch, who's out for the year with a knee procedure, and your right tackle Luke Gedeke is also out for a couple of weeks going forward with a foot injury. So where in the world does this leave the Buccaneers at their offensive line? Well, as I said, at left tackle, you've got Graham Barton, okay? He's been the left tackle for the past couple of weeks now. He's usually the team's starting center. At left guard, you've got Mike Jordan. He has been the starting left guard for the past couple of weeks now. We know that. Ben Bredeson, starting center, past couple of weeks. We know that, okay? Right guard, without Cody Mauch. Elijah Klein may be the first name to step up to potentially be that starting right guard. Right now, he is the only backup interior offensive lineman that the Buccaneers have. He's the backup left guard, the backup center, and the backup right guard as well, at least on the active 53-man roster. He would be that first guy available. Then at right tackle, we talked about this in a separate video, but Charlie Heck is there and Benjamin Chukwuma is there as well. Real quick, guys, I do want to say shout out to the sponsor of this channel. It is Sleeper. If you guys do use the code MrBucs, you do get a $100 deposit match up to $100. That is whenever you use the code MrBucs. Guys, download the Sleeper app today and enjoy sports the way it was meant to be. That's together, baby. Now, speaking of together, the Bucs have got to get together and figure this out because the offensive line, quite frankly, is in shambles at this point. Now, I do have some theories as to what the Buccaneers are going to do in the long term for the, let's just say, the second half of the regular season. But what are they going to do throughout the remainder of the first half of the regular season? Well, I do think going forward into week 3 and throughout the remainder of pretty much the first half of the regular season, at least until Tristan Wirfs comes back and Luke Gedeke comes back, let's say, Graham Barton will continue to be your starting left tackle until Wirfs is back. That's just an absolute fact. No doubt about it. Mike Jordan is going to continue to be your starting left guard. Just remember that. We'll mention him in a moment. Again, Ben Bredeson is still going to be your starting center. I assume Elijah Klein may be your starting right guard, although the Buccaneers may add a different guard or two going forward. But right now, my guess is it might be Elijah Klein or some veteran they decide to bring in. Charlie Heck and Benjamin Chukwuma. Charlie Heck is going to be your starting right tackle. Benjamin Chukwuma is going to be your backup left and right tackle. Very thin on the offensive line, at least in terms of the 53-man roster. But the Buccaneers do have a lot of players on the practice squad of their offensive line. You have got Luke Haggard, who has tackle guard versatility. 6'7", 305 pounds. You have also got a player in Mike Jordan, who I mentioned. You've got Tyler McClellan, who is 6'8", 355. He could be a backup tackle option as well. Lorenz Metz, 6'9", 310 pounds. Ben Scott, 6'5", 310 pounds. A lot of these guys could be game day elevations, not including Mike Jordan, but Scott, Metz, McClellan, as well as a guy in Luke Haggard, all those guys could, and at least one of them will be game day elevations at some point in the next couple of weeks, in my opinion. Now, this is going to be an incredibly tough stretch for the Buccaneers to get through the next few weeks until Wirfs and Gedeke are back. Now, let's talk about this. What happens when first Tristan Wirfs is back? Because I think that Tristan Wirfs is going to be back before Luke Gedeke. I could envision an offensive line like this. You have Tristan Wirfs as your starting left tackle, Ben Bredeson as your starting left guard, Graham Barton as your starting center. I think Mike Jordan could slot over to starting right guard, and Charlie Heck slots over to starting right tackle, with Benjamin Chukwuma and Elijah Klein as your main backup offensive linemen. That is something that is obviously, it has to be what the offensive line is once Wirfs comes back, because you need to get as many starting guys out there. They like Mike Jordan. They've started him 2 games in a row now. I think that, quite frankly, once Wirfs is back, you could very well see Jordan move over from that starting left guard role to the starting right guard role. Now, when Gedeke is back, things do get better, okay, right? And that's going to be around probably the mid-season mark. You have Wirfs at left tackle. You assumedly have Ben Bredeson at left guard. You've got Graham Barton at center. You've got assumedly Mike Jordan at right guard and Luke Gedeke at right tackle. That is a fine, serviceable offensive line. It's going to take us a couple of weeks to get to that point, but that is the end goal of what this offensive line can look like when everybody is back and healthy, in my opinion. But this is very unfortunate for Cody Mauch. I wish him nothing but the best. He really came into his own last year as a starting right guard for the Bucs. Played and started in all 17 games in his first 2 years of his NFL career, I should say. Played and started in 36 games total. The Bucs did have that horrible injury to Kalijah Kancey as well, so the trenches are decimated right now in terms of offensive line and defensive line availability, with starting defensive lineman out for the year, now starting offensive lineman out for the year. Even more hurdles for the Buccaneers to jump through. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions about this news? Let me know down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. What do you guys think about my idea of the long term for the remainder of this season Bucs offensive line, with Wirfs at tackle, left tackle I should say, Ben Bredeson at left guard, Graham Barton at center, Mike Jordan at right guard, and Luke Gedeke at right tackle once everybody is back and healthy? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it down in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.